Hey everybody, it's Helen Hillix, intuitive counselor and licensed therapist, and you have found me today because you're searching for spiritual healing and you've come to the right place. And I don't know what you mean exactly when you talk about spiritual healing, but the first thing I want to do is to say thank you for searching for that. That really touches my heart, because if we are going to change the world, we need to heal. And we need to be more connected to the spiritual realm. So you searching for spiritual healing gives me hope for humanity, that there are people out there, thousands of people out there every month searching for spiritual healing. That gives me hope, because that's exactly what we need to have a better world where people get their needs met and where people feel safe and loved and validated. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's talk about what is spiritual healing, first of all. Some people, I don't know, the first thing that comes to my mind, honestly, is people who are looking for some sort of a magical experience like they used to do with the people that would cure cancer by, digging into your body with their hands and doing psychic surgeries or something like that. I don't think that's what you mean. But I think that's what some people mean when they think about spiritual healing, is they think about some magical way to jump over everyday life and find some magical way to transport themselves into a state of healing. Now, I don't think that's what you mean, but if that's what you mean, then that's not what I'm going to talk about. And that's not what I have to offer. What I have to offer is the idea that we get to integrate spirituality into healing, and that there really is no healing if there is no connection to a higher power energy, to the source, God, the universe, whatever. We never get to feel safe. We never get to feel empowered if we don't know that we are part of something so much greater than ourselves, and that we get to integrate spiritual principles into our lives. And that means we get to integrate spiritual principles into our healing experience as well. And we get to experience healing on the mind level, on the body level, on the emotional level, and on the spiritual level. I can't tell you how many people come to me with having been raised in some sort of spiritual community or family that was incredibly destructive to them, that made them feel awful about themselves, that made them feel ashamed of their sexuality, and made them feel ashamed of who they were, and made them afraid that every single thing that they did wrong was going to send them to hell or something like that. And so that is one kind of spiritual healing, is that the healing of actually what you learned about spirituality when you were a young person. But I think in general, what most people mean when they talk about spiritual healing is, how can we integrate spirituality into the process of healing? And that's what I want to talk about, because that's what I do. And you're here today on my YouTube channel, and I want you to take advantage of all the different topics that I talk about here, and all of them you will feel or hear an actual spiritual component to. And the same thing with my podcast, which is From My Heart to Yours. And you'll find that on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And the same thing is true on my Instagram platforms and Facebook. There is a powerful spiritual foundation under everything that I teach and all the wisdom that I share. And I've been doing this for 35 years, guys. So I have worked with literally hundreds, probably thousands of clients by now, and not to mention my own life experience. So on a personal level. So there is lots to share, and it all is talking in one way or another about spiritual healing. So being an intuitive counselor is a particular kind of spiritual healing, because I believe that intuition is really my access to higher consciousness. And that if I learn to listen, which I have learned to do, is I learn to just blank my mind and listen to guidance. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't use my 35 years of experience and training and common sense. Of course I do. And I also use intuitive guidance. I will get intuitive hits. So often I do an opening with every single session that I do. And I just open my mind and clear my mind and let an image come to me, or a sound or a scene. And then I expand on that as my opening. And so often, almost every time, people say, wow, that's amazing that you had that image, because that's exactly where I am, or that image is an exact reflection of what I need to talk about today. Or, or I say, how does that image relate to you? And they say, I don't know. And that's what we discovered during the session, is that's exactly the core of what they need to heal that day. So to me, that is spiritual healing. I also do hypnotherapy. People call it guided visualization. I don't care what you call it. It's really just allowing you to get to a very, very deeply relaxed space where you can go back and, again, open your mind, open your heart, and be guided back to experiences and scenes that you don't know that you remember. And I always tell people, don't worry about it. Don't worry about whether it actually happened exactly the way we're thinking that it happened, or that you're seeing it today. It's something that your unconscious mind, your spiritually connected mind is offering us to heal today. And we integrate spirituality into that experience and that healing. I'm not going to go into the whole process, but I just want to say that everything that I do is spiritual healing, because it has a spiritual element, because we are spiritual beings, aren't we, guys? We are spiritual and human beings. And I don't mean that we are spiritual beings only. We are spiritual human beings. We are integrated, body, mind, and spirit. We are one with the universe. And that doesn't mean that we're just divine energy and nothing else. We're little chunks of everything that is. And we cannot separate ourselves from the oneness, from the spiritual realm. And we also cannot do what in the 12-step programs they call spiritual bypass, which means that some people are looking for how to avoid the hard work of actually facing yourself and looking at those traumas of your past. And they want a spiritual bypass. And I've had clients before. I can remember this one physical therapist who he meditated every day. He meditated, but he couldn't cope at all with life, relationships, or whatever. And I said, your meditation isn't doing you a damn bit of good if you can't integrate the wisdom into how you relate to people, and how you respond to people, and how you treat people. And he was saying, I don't care. I just want to meditate. I said, okay, well, you don't want to do therapy, so don't be bothering to come back here, because that's not what you're doing. You don't want to really change yourself. You don't really want spiritual healing. He didn't want to look at anything. He just wanted to meditate his way out of everything. And that's what I mean by spiritual bypass. So spiritual healing is not spiritual bypass. Spiritual healing is using spiritual principles and the power of the spiritual connection to go deep into yourself and your psyche and your past, and clear that away, not in some magical way, but step by step by step. And sometimes it can be very powerful and quick, and sometimes it can be tedious. But if you are persistent with it, you can experience true spiritual healing, and you can be liberated from those limiting beliefs of the past, from those blockages of your heart, from those self-protective, withholding behaviors that you learned. And you can be liberated and opened up to having a really incredible future that will continue to provide you spiritual healing all your lives, because we are evolving people, aren't we? We're evolving beings. We are part of a universe that is constantly evolving, and so are we. And I feel young, even though I'm almost 70. I feel young because I'm going to always be evolving. I love it. I mean, not that I love every single experience of it. That would be a lie. You know, there are times when I want to say, not today. But overall, I embrace the process. I welcome it. I love it. I want more of it. You know, I want to always be learning and growing and spiritually healing. And that's what I want for you guys too, because that's what I want for the whole world. If everybody were looking for spiritual healing on the internet, oh my God, what a different world it would be, wouldn't it? It would be a world that wants to live by spiritual principles, that cares about the well-being of every single person and not just the rich. So guys, thank you for tuning in. Take advantage of the videos here. Take advantage of my podcast, From My Heart to Yours. Subscribe to my work. Support it. Review it. Rate it. Share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And please take advantage of my free gift, How to Do a Redo. It will help you experience spiritual healing because you're using spiritual principles to clean up your everyday life. Watch the video that goes along with it. The link is in my comments below. And if you want to work with me individually, just contact me at helenhillix.com, HILLIX. That also will be in the information in the comments. And we can have a powerful conversation and kind of connect and see if we're a match. And you can also get more information and learn more about me from my website at helenhillix.com. I hope you'll come back often. I hope you will use this information and practice it. And I hope you will benefit from it and feel a lot of spiritual healing. Love you guys.